I spent 5 years at eXp Realty before I made the move to Real Broker. So I've lived both sides of eXp and Real. Whether you're at eXp and curious about Real, or Real and curious about eXp, or at a different brokerage completely and curious about either one of these brokerages, I'm gonna break down the facts of both brokerages side by side and give you my honest opinion on each. This is hopefully gonna be a comprehensive breakdown, and hopefully you'll be able to decide whether eXp Real is right for you. All right, so let's get into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about is kind of the financials, the main things that everybody look into first. So the splits. At eXp Realty, you have a 80-20 split, and at Real Broker, you have a 85-15 split. The caps are a little bit different as well. At eXp Realty, you have a $16,000 cap, and at Real, you have a $12,000 cap. So if we take those two into account, Real kind of comes out a little bit on top. You can keep a little bit more of your split, and you also have a reduced cap by $4,000. Now, cap and the splits are in everything. Let's go ahead and talk about the fees. So we're going to discuss all the different fees, with the first one being the startup fee. Every brokerage, you have to pay a fee to join the brokerage, and at eXp Realty, it is $149 compared to Real is $249. Then we're going to move on to the monthly fee, whereas eXp, you have a monthly fee of $85 to $90. I believe when I was there, I paid about $91, and then Real, you have zero monthly fee. But now if we contrast that with a yearly fee, eXp has no yearly fee, but Real does have a yearly fee of $750. So if we take those two monthly and yearly fees into account, the difference is that if you do not produce, you are going to have to pay something monthly at eXp, as opposed to Real Broker, you don't have to pay anything monthly until you close something. So the way that they do their yearly fee is that they take $250, $250, $250 from your first 3 transactions to get that yearly fee of $750. So those are kind of the two main differences, where you have monthly fee here, but you have a yearly fee over here. And this is important, especially for new agents, or if you're going through a lull. You don't want to be paying monthly fees if you're not actually producing anything. So that's where Real wins. But then you still have the $250 fee that comes out of your first 3 transactions at Real for your yearly fee. Now, the per transaction fee at eXp Realty, you have about a $25 broker review fee, and then you have a $60 risk management fee, which that risk management fee, I believe, caps at about $750. At Real Broker, you have a $40 broker review fee. Now we have our caps that we already discussed. What are the fees post cap that you're going to find at each brokerage? So at eXp Realty, you have a $250 post cap transaction fee, and that fee is going to be in place until you hit Icon, which I'll discuss in a minute, which comes out to about 20 deals or $5,000 in fees. And then that $250 a transaction fee reduces to $75 per transaction. Now we compare that to Real Broker, you have a $285 or 15% fee, whichever one is less, up to the Icon. And again, we're going to discuss what that means here. And that is going to equal about 21 transactions or $6,000 in fee. And then that $285 fee is going to be reduced to $125 per transaction. Now, this is where the cloud-based brokerages really have a leg up on the local brokerages or the brick and mortar type brokerages. At eXp, you have the Icon program. And the Icon program is a production award. After you cap and you sell about 20 houses, you achieve the Icon status at eXp Realty. Compare that to Real. Real has the Elite program, and kind of the same thing. After you cap, you sell about 21 houses or $6,000 in fees, and you're going to reach the Elite status program. Now, what do you get with each program? Let's go ahead and discuss that right now. So with the Icon program, when you reach Icon status, you automatically get $8,000 awarded in stock that will vest over 3 years. As opposed to the Elite program at Real, you automatically get $16,000 in stock that also vests within 3 years. Now with the Icon program at eXp, you also have an additional $8,000 that you have the ability to get. You have $4,000 and $4,000. You can get $4,000 in stock that you can get in a cultural award, either teaching a class at eXp University or doing community service. And that, I believe, vests within 1 year after completing that. And then you have an additional $4,000 that you can go to any regional rallies or events that vest the following month of completing those events or anything like that. So you can get a total of $16,000 in stock after you reach the icon status. Now, comparing that to Real program, the elite status, you get the $16,000 in stock, and then you have an additional $8,000 that you can get for a total of $24,000. And the way that you can get that $8,000 is that if you teach classes monthly on the Real Academy or you do community service, you are able to get an additional $8,000 for a total of $24,000 in stock with the elite program at Real Broker. So at eXp Realty, you get a total of $16,000, and at Real Broker, you get a total of $24,000 in the production stock award. Now, since we're talking about stock, let's stick with stock. So you get stock for doing your job both at eXp and Real, which is absolutely amazing. There's nothing wrong with getting trophies and having parties. Everybody loves to get trophies and be awarded things for doing a good job. But not only do we get our trophies, just like you would at anywhere else, but you also get awarded stock that you can sell or you can use to purchase other things once it vests over the years. So there's many different ways that you can get stock both at eXp and Real. For getting your first close, you're going to get awarded $200 in stock. Once you cap at eXp, you're going to get awarded $400 in stock. Comparing that to Real, you do not get any stock for your first transaction, but you do get stock for capping. And at Real, you're going to get 150 shares of stock as opposed to a number at eXp where you get $400. At Real, you're going to get 150 shares. For attracting an agent at eXp, you're going to get an additional $400 in stock, as opposed to Real, you're going to get 75 shares for attracting somebody to Real. Now, both companies also have a stock purchasing plan. So the difference is that eXp, you can purchase 5% of your commission, can automatically purchase stock at eXp at a 5% discount. And keep in mind that these stock purchases, these come to your account right after you purchase them. Within, I believe, 2 to 3 weeks of purchasing them, they're already available on your account. There's no vesting period for them. But at Real, it's a little bit different. You can purchase 5% of your stock pre-cap, and Real Broker will give you a 10% bonus on that. And then post-cap, you can purchase 10% at Real of your stock, and Real will actually give you a 15% bonus of the stock purchased. And those bonuses are vesting within 1 year, but the stuff that you purchase will be in your account, kind of like eXp, within 2 to 3 weeks after purchasing it. So as you can see with the production awards of Icon or Elite Agent, plus all the stock incentives for capping, for recruiting, for bringing people to your business, for doing your business and growing, you are incentivized and you are rewarded with stock that you can use, you can sell. Once it's vested, you can do whatever it is you want with it. So just having those two right there is a huge benefit with being a cloud-based brokerage like eXp and Real. The next thing that we're going to discuss is revenue share. And that's something that a lot of people come to either eXp and Real that are considering doing and just want more information on. So first we're going to go through the structure of what everything means and how much money you make everywhere. And I'm actually going to show 2 spreadsheets and show you how much you're actually going to make if you were to recruit a certain amount of agents. So first we're going to discuss eXp, and eXp has a 7-tier system. Every level and every tier has a different amount, which we'll get to in the spreadsheet. The first 3 tiers are automatically unlocked, so you don't have to recruit people to unlock certain tiers. Only until you get from tier 4 and 5 are unlocked once you cap, and tier 6 and 7 and tier 4 through 7 are unlocked once you icon with the eXp. Now, if we compare that to Real Broker, you have 5 tiers at Real, and at Real you have to unlock certain tiers. The difference also is with eXp, when you join the eXp, all your tiers are unlocked no matter what until you hit certain categories. Of course, 1 through 3 are unlocked, and then 4 to 7 you have to unlock them. But at Real, all your tiers are unlocked for the first 6 months that are there. So yeah, you have some time to recruit people or cap or hit elite status so that other things can unlock. That's kind of the 2 little differences. But at Real, to unlock your first tier is automatically unlocked. Your second tier is unlocked when you hit 5 producing agents. Tier 3 is unlocked when you hit 15 producing agents, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and dive into the spreadsheet so you can see a little bit of comparison and see how much money you make depending on what tier people are in your downline. So as you can see on the screen right here, you have eXp Realty on the left side and Real Broker on the right side. With eXp Realty, like I mentioned, it's 7 layers deep. Your first 3 layers are unlocked, and then these are amount of agents you need, producing agents, to unlock the rest of the tiers unless you cap or hit icon status. But as you can see here, this is the amount you would make per agent if they were to cap that year. So if you recruit me to your first downline and I cap, you would make $2,800, and again, so on and so forth for every single agent. As you can see here, first is 2,800. The second most is 3,200 at your tier 2. And then the most you're actually going to get is your tier 7. I believe the reasoning for that is to incentivize people, to help people all the way down so that you can make the most amount of money there. And then as we look at Real Broker on the right side, it is 5 layers deep as opposed to 7 with eXp. And over here, it's a little bit easier to understand. It goes from a 5% all the way down to a 1% annual cap that you're going to make from the people you recruit. So your first layer is $4,000, then $3,200, $2,400, $1,600, and $800. So it's a little bit different. You make a little bit more for the people that you recruit to you right below you. And I believe the reasoning for that is that more often than not, you're going to know the people that you recruit directly underneath you, and you're going to be able to help them more. And then anybody that they recruit, they're also going to help them, and so on and so forth. So as people get a little bit away from you, there's not as much help that they're going to need from you personally. Also, with eXp and Real Broker, which we'll talk about after this, there's a big difference in what you can give people when you recruit them and what you can promise. So if we're just going to talk about here, let's just say you recruit 5 people right below you, and each of them recruit 2 people for 15 total. I'm going to show you the difference that would make in your downline. Now, if everybody were to cap, and of course that's unrealistic because we all know the type of business that real estate is, not everybody's going to cap. Realistically, they say to look at half a cap or a quarter cap, but let's just say at a half a cap, if everybody were at a half cap, that means some people are going to cap, some people are going to sell 1 or 2 houses. You would make a total of $23,000 by just having 15 people in your downline, which is absolutely awesome. That's not going to change your life. It might start to change your life, but that's definitely your mortgage payment. That's definitely your bills, or a super nice vacation a couple times year round. Now, if we compare that to Real with the same amount of numbers, you actually make about $26,000. So a little bit more than you would at eXp. Now, again, you can play with the numbers. You can put people in certain tiers here and there. At eXp, I know people put them, certain people at their tier 7 when they hit a certain milestone. This is just an example for you to show you the differences in each. Now, let's say we get a little bit crazy and we become awesome rockstar recruits, right? And we just double that right there. This is what it could possibly become if you recruit 25 people and each of them recruit 2. So about 75 people in your downline. At eXp, at a half cap would be 115 people. And at Real, it'd be about 130 people. Again, not a huge difference, but there definitely is a difference there. But of course, as you get lower, you can probably put people more in your tier 7. If you have enough people filled out, you can kind of play the system and play the game. But this is just to show you numbers and realistically what a lot of people have made. I personally know people both at eXp and Real that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and $30,000 to $50,000 a month just from revenue share, from helping people. Because naturally, as you become a good business person, as you become a good realtor, people are just going to be drawn to you, and they're going to be like, hey man, what are you doing? How's your broker? This and that. You're just naturally going to be recruiting people. Does that mean you're going to recruit 200 people? Probably not, but you will easily recruit 10, 20, maybe even 30 people to your brokerage. And then from there, it kind of starts snowballing and growing. Now, something that I want to mention that's very different from both eXp and Realty is the way that you can recruit and how you can recruit at both brokerages. eXp Realty, the way that you can recruit is that usually, or more often than not, there's a bunch of powerhouse downlines out there that they create a bunch of software, or they create a bunch of training, a bunch of masterminds and things like that, that only their downline will be able to get. So what that means is, if I'm with eXp Realty and I recruit my friend from Orlando and they join me, and I have a upline that has training on YouTube, which is where I learned my YouTube skills from, they will get all that training for free. But if they have another friend in California, but they have cold calling training and a huge upline with people helping them and coaching helping them, they will get 0% of that training unless this friend hooks them up for whatever reason. So it's very important who you join at eXp and what type of training you're getting. What that has caused over the years, and something that kind of I didn't like as much, especially towards the end of my time there, is that you join me, you get our training. You don't join me, you're basically not with us. You go do your own thing. Now, of course, there's people that are kind and nice, will help you as much as they can, but they're not going to be able to give you the training that 3 people above them made for free to you because you did not join them. So if you're looking to eXp, and eXp is a great brokerage, and I will highly, highly suggest that you join eXp or Real Broker over, any of the brick and mortar brokerages, make sure you join the downline or the upline that has the specific training that you want to do. Don't join your friend that has, cold calling training if you want to be a YouTube master and, social media master, and vice versa. Make sure you join people that have great training and are also going to follow through with what they tell you. A lot of people that join certain places at eXp Realty, friends of mine that join places, they were promised all these things, they join, and then they never hear from their sponsor again. So make sure whoever you join, there are great sponsors and there are great uplines there that they are going to follow through on their word. Now, as we shift to Real Broker, the main difference is that if you were to join me personally at Real Broker, I cannot promise you anything specifically that I would not give to any other agent at Real Broker. Now, that's a completely different mindset and a completely different thought process, and it took me a long time to understand that. The good thing about Real is that it's way more collaborative, and it's an environment that everybody is able to get anybody's mastermind or anybody's training. This is kind of the culture in the community that I want to start discussing about on the next topic here in this video, is that when you recruit people at Real, you're recruiting people because of the culture, the brokerage, the technology, which I'm still going to get to, and the collaboration that you get here. When I was looking to join Real, I talked to 3 or 4 really high-end agents that have a huge downline. None of them pressured me to join. None of them promised me anything that anybody else would. It was really just them selling me on the company. Whereas with eXp, you're selling people on you and what you can offer. And yes, eXp is great, but join me so that you can get all our training. Whereas Real, it's like, hey, we have a bunch of training that you're going to get access to, and so is everybody. But the technology, the company, the culture here at Real is different. And for me, looking at the differences, Real was somewhere that I wanted to be part of. Culture was never a big issue for me until I got to a point that I was looking to be part of a group of an organization. And I just like that collaborative, that caring environment that I can plug into, that everybody wants to see everybody shine. So with the revenue share, when you are recruiting at Real, that's why they put $4,000 as the most that you're going to get at your first line, is because the people that you're going to influence the most are right under you, because they can get training from everybody, right? So that as they recruit people, you're going to get less influence because they're naturally just going to look towards the Real community to get their training and to get their sponsorship. I hope I was able to effectively communicate the differences with that. At eXp, you have more of the silos, right? You join this upline, you're with these people, and that's it. Whereas Real, you join the company, you're with everybody, and everybody's inviting. You can get on anybody's calendar to talk about most things. Of course, people are busy and you have to take that into account. Yes, my people that I joined specifically, I can probably get on their calendar a little bit easier because I joined them, but anything that they do and any training they have, it's open to everybody. And I really love that because I'm selling the company, I'm selling the culture, and I'm selling all of us doing this together, which I love. So as we continue with the culture and the communication platform that eXp Realty have, at eXp Realty, you have about 80,000 to 90,000 agents, depending on when you watch this, which is a huge company. I joined and I think they were about 40, 50,000. So I definitely saw it grow and how it changed over the years. When I joined, it felt a lot smaller. And as it grew over the years, for me personally, it felt a lot more like a corporate environment. Now that depends a lot on your broker, on your state. I talk to people at different states. They absolutely love it because their broker team and their state is different. But for me personally here in Tennessee, I felt a lot more corporate and I didn't feel that small brokerage friendliness that I felt when I first joined. Now, if we talk about the training platform, eXp has great training, which is eXp University. They have a lot of live things every single week. Plus they have, eXp University and things that are on demand. Another thing that I'm going to discuss is the communication platform that eXp uses is Slack. Both eXp and Real at one point used Workplace, which was through Facebook, and then Facebook discontinued it. eXp decided to move to Slack, which I absolutely hated. I never used this Slack. You had to pay for the premium program to see things that are older than 30 days. It was hard to talk to people, to communicate. The communities are all over the place. If you love Slack, eXp's communication is going to be great for you. But for me personally, I did not like that at all. Now, if we go to Real, we have about 30 to 35,000 agents as of the recording of this video. It definitely still has that brokerage that everybody's still helping each other out. And I feel like that's going to continue no matter how big they get. I know they're going to get to 50,000 or 100,000, just like eXp Realty, but I feel with like the recruiting and the culture that the company has, it's going to continue to have that small, that more intimate, that more friendly type of culture here. Now, with the communication platform, we use WorkVivo, and it's almost basically like Workplace. So I love WorkVivo. You can send messages, you have groups you can join, you can, be active on there. Something that I have noticed is that at Real Broker, the communication platform or the WorkVivo isn't as active as when I was with eXp and they had Workplace. It's something that still needs to grow, and a lot of people need to be more active, but that's something that I still like is the communication platform at Real. Also with Real, you have the Real Academy. Something I will say is that the Real Academy is way more efficient. It's easier to get through things as opposed to eXp University. It's a lot more clunky in my opinion, but you have weekly calls, weekly masterminds, plus you have everything on demand. Now, if you're looking to come to Real Broker and you want to see some of the Real Academy stuff, just ask me. I can give you the links for the live classes. I believe anybody can join the live classes to watch them, but anything on demand from the weeks and months prior, you have to be a Real agent to get access to those. Now, with the events, eXp and Real are basically the same. With eXp, you have eXp Con, the once a year really big convention, plus you have the, I believe it's called regional rallies that happen kind of throughout the year. And with Real Broker, you have the Rise conference, and you have the Further Together, kind of the regional type stuff that eXp also has. So it's very similar there. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is technology. And this is super different for both brokerages. Again, both are cloud-based brokerages. So everything you do is basically online. So it's very important that you distinct the two. And eXp is almost like a plug and play where you get a bunch of different things and you put it together over here, as opposed to Real. They have their dedicated, they have anywhere from 90 to 100 developers that built out Reason app, and everything is in one central location, which I love. So if we're discussing with eXp, the transaction platform at eXp is SkySlope. It is what it is. We use Dotloop whether we were at eXp or Real Broker, and we upload everything that we need to the Reason app, or we uploaded everything to SkySlope. Me personally, I didn't like SkySlope. It's very clunky, it's very old school, and I didn't really like how everything worked, but that's what they use. And at Real, you have the Reason app, and the Reason app is where everything is located, whether that's transactions, communications, messaging, revenue share, the Real wallet, everything is located in one place. Even WorkVivo is attached to the Reason app. So you just go to one place and everything is there. Whereas eXp, you have to kind of find where things are located. Another thing with the technology that the Reason app has is AI integrated into it, which is Leo is what they call their AI system. And I believe that's backed by ChatGPT. So with Real, and I'll show you some kind of video of me doing this in the past, you can go into the Reason app and you can ask questions to the AI system, whether you're in a transaction or you need a W-9. Can you send me a W-9? It'll literally populate the W-9 and send it to you. In the past, where I was with eXp, I was trying to track down a W-9, and it took me 3 to 4 days because I had to email somebody, and then, hey, it takes 24 to 40 hours for them to get back to me. Oh, it's not us, it's somebody else, and I had to email them. With Reason app, the AI system has answered so many questions for me. You can be in a specific transaction and ask a question about that transaction, and it'll give you the answer. It's very smart, and it starts to learn you and learn what you like and how you like your answers. And over time, it gets better and better. I absolutely love the AI system, and even our transaction coordinator that has never used the Real Broker platform before, she says it's super intuitive, and with the AI integrated to it, she's like, I can just ask it all the questions and I get all the answers I need. So that's a huge bonus where Real Broker has AI integrated to it and eXp does not. Again, I already talked about the communication. eXp uses Slack, whereas Real Broker uses the Reason app. Everything's there. One thing I like about the communication, yes, you can message them just generally about anything you want to message them, but also you can message them on specific transactions. So if there's an issue going on, or you have questions on how to do things, or you're not sure what to write in this or that contract, you can actually go on the inbox, and every transaction gets its own inbox that you can communicate specifically for that transaction. Again, efficiency, everything in the same spot. You're going to hear this a lot with the technology with Real. One thing that Real Broker has with financial technology that eXp doesn't is the Real wallet. The first time I heard about this, I was like, oh, this sounds kind of interesting, but does it actually work? Is it efficient? So Real has partnered with a bank. Again, everything's on the Reason app, and you get a Real wallet. And on that wallet, you get paid within an hour, 2 hours max. Whenever you are at the title company, you can either send a picture of your check or you can just have things wired. So when you have something wired, you can put the wire confirmation on the transaction. They close it out and you get paid within 2 to 3 hours to your real wallet. It's also helping the brokerage become a financial technology brokerage with the technology that it has. So the valuation of the stock over time is only going to go up. Something that's awesome about the wallet as well is that every, Visa, MasterCard gets charged fees. So with the real wallet, if you use the money in your real wallet, use it for everyday like groceries and things that you have to do for your business. So you actually have the ability by using the real wallet, getting paid super quickly. You have a physical debit card from the real wallet that you can use every day and you accumulate fees to pay things down. Another way that real broker is incentivizing the agents to use their systems and giving back to them in the form of points so that they can pay down their fees. Again, going to broker communication. For broker communication, you have eXp World, which is kind of like the Sims that you can log into and talk to them. You have the Slack that you can also message them. Whereas Real Broker, you have the Reason app. Something that's very cool about the Reason app is that you can call your broker from the app. So you can go, I already mentioned you have individual transactions. So you can go to that transaction and call them from the Reason app. And what's going to happen is that the AI is going to listen in and transcribe your whole conversation so that when you're talking to your broker, if she's like, hey, you need to write this, you need to do this, and you need to do that, you don't need to take notes because everything gets transcribed and gets put into that inbox so that after the conversation, you're like, oh man, what did she tell me to do? Everything's already there. Everything's already transcribed. So that's something that's even better is because all these conversations, all these text messages, and everything with the broker team is transcribed and in one place and easy to get to. So for the revenue share dashboard, eXp has My eXp, and they have put stuff a little bit better together where you can hit your revenue share downline. You can hit a bunch of different places. And again, on the Reason app, you have your revenue share dashboard where you can see everything right there. With the CRMs that you're going to use at eXp Realty, you have the choice between 3 CRMs. You have Bold Trail, which used to be KV Core. You have Lofty, and I believe you have Bold Trail as well that you can choose from. And those are included in your monthly $90 technology fee. Whereas Real Broker, you have to opt in to the CRM, which is Lofty. And I believe that's a $30 additional cost a month. Again, I like it because it's not something you have to do. So if business is slow, you're a new agent, or things are just a little bit chaotic in your life, you cannot have that monthly payment. But if you want to use their CRM, it's about $30 a month, and it is Lofty that you will get. And again, going back to it, the technology, everything that we talked about, eXp, you're going to pay about $85 to $90 a month in the technology fees, whereas Real, it's absolutely free to you. There will be 0 monthly fee for technology for you. And the last thing we want to discuss is the support. I already kind of mentioned how you can get in contact with your support. At eXp, you have eXp World, where it's kind of this virtual world that you have your little avatar. You can walk into your brokers. You can call them on the phone. You have Slack that you have communications with them. So that's something that eXp does. With Real Broker, you have the Reason app. You can use the AI software to have questions answered. You have communication through the app to where you can talk to your broker support team. You can actually call them from the app. Everything gets transcribed and put in one place. And you also have a phone call that you can call your brokers. And that's really the main way that you can get support in both brokerages. And that might seem hard for you, especially if you're coming from a brick and mortar store. You're used to walking into your broker's office. But I've found that when I used to be part of a brick and mortar type of brokerage, I had to drive there. They were in a meeting. I had to wait 30 minutes or whatnot. Here where I'm at, I could just give them a call. I can just go write them a message. I could just call them from the Reason app. Everything gets transcribed. It's a lot more efficient. And even with eXp, going into the Real eXp world, I had never had an issue with it. I could usually get people to talk to pretty quickly. You can give them a call. You can get in contact with people at a cloud-based brokerages, and it's a lot better than people think. So that was a full comprehensive thing with eXp and Real. In my personal opinion, I made the move to Real because the efficiency, the culture, everything that Real is building is something that I wished eXp was going to become one day, but it's already here with Real. So whether that's the Reason app, whether that's, recruiting people to be part of the team and not my upline or my downline. And if you're not over here, I can't give you the training. I don't really like that aspect of things, whether that's the Real wallet and being more of a financial technology type company, whether that's, looking to the future and growing the brokerage, getting more money with your stock incentives, getting up to $24,000 with becoming elite agents, having the flexibility of retiring and having that revenue share, for me, Real made way more sense. And if you're looking to join a brokerage, whether you're new or stuck in your business, reach out to me or schedule time to chat below in the description. I would love to help you make the move either to eXp or to Real or any other brokerage and help you in your journey. With that said, until next time, take care and God bless.